Hello students, I welcome you all to today's session. I hope all of you are doing perfect at your places. Today's topic is natural resources, land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife. In this chapter you will learn about land resources, soil resources, water resources, natural vegetation of India and distribution of wildlife. Now mind opener, certain questions but you have to answer them on your own. Now let's begin with the chapter. Land, soil and water are the major natural resources. All of them have great utility value and are closely interlinked. Most of these resources can be reused or recycled. However, if they are misused or wasted, their future availability will be under serious threat. Conservation of the natural resources is therefore essential for their future use. तो ये सारी चीजें जो हैं, some of them are renewable, but then some are exhaustible natural resources also. तो इनको judicially use करना is our moral duty. Now let's see what are land resources. Land is the most basic resource because we live on it. Land supports forests and pastures and provides a base for agriculture and various other human activities. Depending on the characteristics of the land, the needs of the people, every country develops its own pattern of land use, and in other words, different portions of the available land are used for different purposes such as crop cultivation, grazing, forestry, housing, industries, transportation and so on. For instance, in regions with large populations, flat land and fertile soil, more land is used for agriculture. As the main primary focus is on growing crops to meet the food requirements, however, the pattern of land use changes over time with the changing needs of the people, and thus as the human population is growing, forested lands are being cleared to make room for crop fields, houses, factories, roads and so on. Again, in very heavily populated areas where housing is the primary need, even land that was earlier used for growing crops is being converted into residential areas. Now you have the land resources. अलग-अलग country की needs अलग होती हैं, so the land that is available for the country is used according to their needs only. थोड़ा land agriculture के लिए, थोड़ा residential area के लिए, थोड़ा farming activities के लिए, अलग-अलग activities के लिए. But because अब पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज होता जा रहा है, तो विद द इंक्रीज इन द पॉपुलेशन जो लैंड एरिया वंस अपॉन अ टाइम कुछ अलग यूजेज के लिए था, उसको भी कन्वर्ट कर दिया जा रहा है रेजिडेंशियल प्रॉपर्टीज बिल्ड करने के लिए. नाउ लेट्स सी द लैंड यूज पैटर्न इन इंडिया. India has a total land area of 3.2 million hectares. No other country is as fortunate as India in this regard. The total land area of India is 3.28 million square kilometers. 30% is mountainous, 27% is covered by plateaus, and 43% is plains. The plains are best suited for agriculture, while the mountains and plateaus are rich in forests and minerals. Although our country has only 2.42% of the world's total land area, it supports 16% of the world's population. तो इंडिया का टोटल लैंड एरिया इज अराउंड 3.28 मिलियन हेक्टेयर्स, जिसमें से 30% माउंटेनियस है, 27 इज कवर्ड विद प्लेटूज एंड 43% इज प्लेन्स, जो कि फर्टाइल लैंड भी है, विच एड्स इन द फार्मिंग एक्टिविटीज. Now India is fortunate to have a very high percentage of arable, cultivable land. That is 57%. However, for a balanced ecological development, it is important to increase our land under forests from the existing 22% to 33%. It goes to the credit of Indian farmers, with only 4% of the area under pasture, are sustaining the largest cattle population in the world, and they rear cattle on husk, grain chaff, farmer waste and a new or few fodder crops. So India has been always fortunate enough, क्योंकि जितना जो land जो present है, उस लैंड का 57% इज कल्टिवेबल लैंड, यानी कि आप चीज़ें अलग अलग टाइप की ग्रेन्स या कुछ भी आप उस पर ग्रो कर सकते हो. बट स्टिल इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि 22% जो फॉरेस्ट एरिया है इंडिया का, उसको इंक्रीज करके 33% तक पहुंचाया जाए. Now, conservation of land resources. We can conserve land resources in the following ways. Number one is by reducing the use of pesticides, by using organic manures instead of chemical manures, planting more and more trees by making intelligent and space-saving homes, by just not wasting land for dumping our garbage, conserving soil and forests, providing irrigation facilities. अब पेस्टिसाइड्स का यूज कम कर देना है, हाउसेज ही हाउसेज बना के सारे पेड़ों को गायब नहीं करना है, सॉइल एंड फॉरेस्ट को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, एंड इरिगेशन फैसिलिटीज को भी प्रोवाइड करना है. बाय डूइंग दिस वी कैन कंजर्व द लैंड resources. Now let's study about the soil resources. Soil is one of the most important natural resources which is composed of both inorganic materials and living organisms, and it provides the basis of life by giving nutrients to plants which allow animal life to exist. Soil is also used extensively in human production. It contains natural fibers, produces lumber and crops that people use and consume. Soils found in tropical rainforests usually lack the nutrients necessary to support the growing of crops. When bedrock breaks down, it is converted into soil, and some soil also comes from sediments that are left by the wind, volcano, glaciers and other resources. तो अब आपका आता है soil. Most important natural resources alongside other natural resources also, इसमें आपके biotic components भी होते हैं, nutrients भी होते हैं, which is important for the animals also and for growing crops also. अलग अलग world के areas में different quality and variety of soils हमें देखने को मिलते हैं. Now let's see how is the soil actually formed. Soil formation. The soil and climate of a place determines how much population the land can support. Soil varies from place to place and even from one field to the next. For example, the soil near a river could have reached in nutrients, making it a productive area, while the soil on a plateau a little far away could be stony and unproductive. Why does soil vary so much from place to place? The reason is several factors affect soil formation: parent rock, climate, vegetation and time. Now let us learn how each factor affects the formation of soil. अब ये 4-5 फैक्टर्स हैं. अलग अलग लोकेशंस पे आपको जो सॉइल की क्वालिटी दिखेगी वो बिल्कुल अलग दिखेगी. प्लेन्स में आपको बहुत फर्टाइल सॉइल दिखेगा, प्लेटूज वाले रीजन्स में आपको बहुत ही स्टोनी, बहुत स्टोन पत्थर वगैरह होते हैं, ज़्यादा फर्टाइल नहीं होता है. नाउ क्या क्या फैक्टर्स हैं? दीज आर योर पैरेंट रॉक, क्लाइमेट, वेजिटेशन एंड टाइप. इन चारों चीज़ों पर डिपेंड करता है कि सॉइल की क्वालिटी कैसी होगी. लेट्स स्टडी अबाउट देम वन बाय वन. Parent rock refers to the original rock from which soil is formed. This determines type of mineral content, texture and general structure of soil. Parent rock यानी कि original जिस rock से, क्योंकि rock से ही पत्थर टूट के weathering होती है, उनकी वजह से ही आपका सॉइल का फॉर्मेशन होता है. अब पेरेंट रॉक किस तरीके का था, उसमें क्या न्यूट्रिएंट्स थे, उस पर डिपेंड करता है, पहला रीजन. फिर आता है क्लाइमेट. Climate in the form of temperature and precipitation determines soil properties too. Temperature affects the rate at which organic matter decay and the humus present in soil. Precipitation determines the rate of weathering that often washes away the nutrients. फिर आता है climate, अलग अलग factors, precipitation, बारिश किस तरीके कितनी हो रही है, किस तरीके की हो रही है, हवा का जो बहाव है वो किस तरफ है, इन सभी climatic factors पे भी डिपेंड करता है that soil की quality कैसी होगी. Then comes the vegetation. Vegetation also affects soil properties. For example, soil under shrubs or grass may be richer in plant nutrients and humus than soil under coniferous trees. This is because of the varying cycles of plant growth. And last is the time. Time is an important factor influencing soil formation. It takes thousands of years to form. Some soil changes color and also properties over time. Vegetation is also a very important factor. किस तरीके के crops वहाँ पर grow करे जा रहे हैं, किस तरीके के वहाँ पे plants grow हो रहे हैं, तीसरा फैक्टर ये है. और फिर आता है टाइम. कितना टाइम लगता है, क्योंकि बहुत हजारों लाखों साल लग जाते हैं 1 सेंटीमीटर ऑफ सॉइल को बनने में, तो कितना टाइम लग रहा है, क्या क्या फैक्टर्स हैं. तो ज़्यादा 4 फैक्टर्स जिन पे डिपेंड करता है कौन से रीजन में सॉइल की क्वालिटी कैसी होगी. नाउ द सॉइल प्रोफाइल. Soil profile refers to the layers of soil horizon O, A, B, C and R. Horizon O refers to the uppermost layer of soil. Here we can find fallen leaves and organic matter. Horizon A refers to the upper layer of the soil. This commonly as topsoil, and in areas that have not been plowed, this layer may include fallen leaves, which helps prevent erosion, holds moisture and decays to form a very rich soil known as humus. Horizon A provides plants with nutrients they need for a great life. The layer below horizon A is horizon B. Fallen leaves are not present here and therefore there is much less humus. Horizon B does not contain some elements from horizon A because of the process of leaching. May also bring some minerals from horizon B down to the horizon C and consists of big rocks which give rise to the soil horizon above it. Horizon R contains unweathered parent material and soil profile look different in various areas of the world and they are affected by climate and other things. अब आपका आता है soil profile. ये आपका O, A, B, C and R में divide है. O सबसे upper most आता है. O और A में आपके थोड़े बहुत similarities होती हैं. Top soil आपका ये बोला जाता है इसमें आपके फॉलन लीव्स, हमस, ये सब आपको देखने को मिलेगा। फिर आपका बी आ जाता है, उसमें आपको होराइजन ए की थोड़ी बहुत क्वालिटीज देखने को मिल सकती हैं। फिर बिल्कुल नीचे जो आर आता है वो उसमें आपके पेरेंट रॉक के मिनरल्स या कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज आपको देखने को मिलती है। Now fact zone, the alluvial soil is the most fertile soil in the world. So alluvial soil होता है, it is also known as the black soil, और ये सबसे ज़्यादा fertile soil होता है in the entire world. Now let's study about soil erosion. The wearing away, detachment and transportation of soil from one place to another place by moving water, blowing wind or other causes is called soil erosion. Soil erosion is a form of soil degradation along with problems like soil compaction, low organic matter, loss of soil structure, salinization and soil acidity problems. The agents of soil erosion are water and wind. अब soil erode होता है यानी कि एक जगह की मिट्टी जब उखड़ के फ्लो कर जाती है। दो इसके फैक्टर्स हैं, क्लाइमेटिक फैक्टर्स तो हैं ही, बट विंड एंड वाटर आर द टू प्राइम रीजंस फॉर सॉइल इरोजन। Both rainfall and runoff factors must be when assessing a water erosion problem. The impact of raindrops on the soil surface can break down the soil aggregates and disperse the aggregate problem or the material. Wind erosion is caused by strong wind, mainly in arid and desert areas. It results in dust storms, forms dunes and buries localities with deposition of sand, rendering fertile land unfit for cultivation. It is more common in Rajasthan. अब अलग अलग water droplets की वजह से भी soil erode होना शुरू हो जाता है, and that also acts as an agent कि वहाँ का जो soil quality होगा वो किस तरीके का होगा। Now the conservation of soil. We need to devise and implement ways of conserving soil. Here are some ways to conserve soil. Number one is afforestation. The roots of trees and plants hold the soil very tightly and do not let it loosen, so the problem of soil erosion can be better dealt with planting more and more trees. Strip cropping in sloping regions. Crops can be planted on counter strips which are effective in checking soil erosion. Then the crop rotation. It means growing of crops one after another every year alternately. It helps reduce the soil erosion and also increases the fertility of soils. अब afforestation, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पेड़ लगाइए क्योंकि roots जो होते हैं वो bind करके रखते हैं soil को। क्रॉप रोटेशन यानी कि इस साल कोई क्रॉप ग्रो करा, अगले साल कुछ और ग्रो करा, इससे आपकी soil की fertility भी maintain रहती है। Then terracing. Terracing fields prevent erosion and conserve moisture. It has been practiced in many parts of the world. Terraces which control the water runoff because they are spaced in a series like steps down the slopes. Each terrace acts like an embankment constructed across the slope in such a way that it tends to control water runoff and minimizes erosion. Bunding. It refers to the construction of small bunds across the steps of a land as a contour. These bunds act as a barrier to check off water runoff. फिर आपके terrace like farming होती है, that can help in or prevent in soil erosion. फिर आपके bundles जैसी चीज़ें आपकी contouring के लिए use कर दी जाती हैं, that also aids in not running off of the water. Shelter belts. These are actually green belts of trees planted to block strong winds and prevent them from picking up the loose soil from the ground. Gully reclamation. Due to carelessness at times, small gullies are formed. These gullies prove dangerous and aggravate the soil erosion. The best method of controlling them is to grow some vegetation to stabilize the soil. And the last one is check upon overgrazing. The plants once eaten away by the animals do not grow again. It mostly happens in hilly regions. It is essential to put a check upon overgrazing. तो shelter belts आपके बन जाते हैं, बहुत सारी trees grow करवा दिए जाते हैं ताकि winds erode करके ना लेके चली जाएं, and then overgrazing से भी बहुत ज़्यादा soil erosion होता है, तो ज़्यादा grazing नहीं करवानी है, उससे भी soil erosion prevent हो सकता है. Now the water resources. Water resources are sources of water that are potentially useful and cover about 71% of the total surface area of the earth. Uses of water include agricultural, industrial, household, recreational and environmental activities. 97% of the water on the earth is salty, and only 3% is a fresh. Of this, over 2/3 is frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. अब आता है आपका water. Although 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water, but ये सारा का सारा fresh water नहीं है. Fresh water का भी 0.001% ही है जो आपका liquid form में है, बाकी सब जो है वो आपका ice caps में पूरा का पूरा freeze हो रखा है. So the remaining unfrozen fresh water is mainly found as groundwater with only a small fraction % above ground or in the air. अब जो unfrozen water है वो भी आधे से ज़्यादा underground है, बहुत ही small percentage है जो कि आपका ground के ऊपर है. Then the surface water. Surface water is the water found in a river, lake or freshwater wetland. It is naturally replenished by precipitation and is lost through discharge into oceans, evaporation and subsurface. Surface water होता है ज़्यादातर ये आपका बारिश से ही accumulate होता है. Then we have the groundwater. Subsurface water or groundwater is fresh water located in the pore space of soil and rocks. Fresh water is one of the most valuable natural resources on the earth. Water is a renewable resource and its total volume is more or less constant over the earth, yet it needs to be conserved and managed प्रॉपरली. फिर आता है ग्राउंड वाटर जो आपके ग्राउंड लेवल्स पे होता है, अलग अलग रिसोर्सेज से ये आता है, इसको भी जुडिशियसली यूज करना हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Now a fact zone, a very small fraction, 0.001% of the total water on the earth is found in the atmosphere. This water in the hydrological cycle is very essential for life on the earth. So 0.001% ही वो water है जो हम actually use कर पाते हैं. That is why use it judiciously and mindfully. Now conservation of water resources. The problem of water depletion can be partly solved by checking the wastage of water, reusing wastewater wherever possible, storing water for the dry season, diverting surplus water from wet regions to dry regions and rainwater harvesting, collecting rainwater for future use. And rainwater is usually collected by digging pits or tanks or by building embankments around low-lying areas. The collected water can be used directly and a part of it seeps into the soil, replenishing groundwater reserves. The rainwater falling on roofs can also be led by pipes to collection tanks on the ground. The use of sprinklers and dripping pipes to irrigate fields saves water. तो बहुत सारे तरीके हैं वाटर को कंजर्व करने के लिए. टैप्स को बंद रखिए, जहाँ पे आपकी इरिगेशन होती है वहाँ पे ड्रिपिंग पाइप्स का यूज करके भी वाटर को कंजर्व किया जा सकता है. Now increasing vegetation cover helps increase of groundwater as plants reduce surface runoff and allow more water to seep into the ground. Water pollution can be controlled by treating industrial and domestic wastes suitably before dumping it into water bodies, and natural pesticides and fertilizers should be used because many chemicals and synthetic ones are non-biodegradable. These chemicals are washed into drinking water sources by surface runoff, where they accumulate in the bodies of organisms, causing various health problems, and they can be removed from water only by distillation, which involves boiling the water and condensing the steam. This process is very expensive. अब आपके जितना water pollution जो है उसको भी control किया जा सकता है by using less pesticides when you are spraying the pesticides in your irrigating lands, and there are different ways also जहाँ से हम water को conserve कर सकते हैं. Now let's see the natural vegetation of India. There's a wide variety of natural vegetation in India due to the variations in temperature, amount of rainfall and landform features. In India, the vegetation varies from dense forests in Kerala to open forests in Madhya Pradesh, thorn forests in Rajasthan and conical trees on Himalayan slopes. So आपका vegetation India में specifically जो है, it is very wide. बहुत सारे अलग-अलग type की आपको vegetation देखने को मिलते हैं. The major vegetation types of India are tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, thorn forest, then you have your mountain forest and tidal forests. So let's read about them one by one. Number one is your tropical evergreen forests. These forests are found in areas with more than 200 centimeters of annual rainfall, like the western slopes or the western Ghats, parts of West Bengal and Odisha, the northeastern states and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and these forests are very dense and contain tall hardwood trees like ebony, mahogany, rosewood and किनकोना. Tropical evergreen forest क्या स्पेशलिटी होती है कि इनके जो ट्रीज होते हैं वो थ्रू आउट द ईयर आपके ग्रो होते रहते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल महागनी, रोजवुड एंड किनकोना. किनकोना आपका जो ट्री है इससे आपके मलेरिया को भी ट्रीट करा जाता है. Then tropical deciduous forests. These forests are found in areas with annual rainfall between 100 centimeters to 200 centimeters, like the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats, the northeastern part of the Deccan Plateau, the northern plains and the foothills of the Himalayas. These forests are less dense than evergreen forests but contain economically valuable species like sal, teak, shisham, bamboo and sandalwood. अब आपके आते हैं deciduous forest, tropical deciduous forest. ये आपके डेंस तो होते हैं बट दे आर लेस डेंस एज कंपेयर्ड टू द ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट। यहाँ पे भी 100 सेंटीमीटर से 200 सेंटीमीटर तक की रेनफॉल होती है। एंड सम वेरी फेमस ट्रीज ऑफ दीज ट्रॉपिकल डेसिडुअस फॉरेस्ट आर साल, टीक, शीशम एंड एटसेट्रा। Now we have the thorn forests. So these forests are found in areas with less than 50 centimeter of annual rainfall like Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, the drier parts of Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and the Deccan Plateau. They consist of thorny bushes and shrubs with some scattered trees like acacia, babul, khajur and kikar are found here. अब यहाँ पे आपके आते हैं थॉर्न फॉरेस्ट जहाँ पे बहुत ही कम बारिश होती है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल लाइक इन द स्टेट्स ऑफ राजस्थान, गुजरात एटसेट्रा। यहाँ पे आपको बबूल, खजूर, कीकर जैसे पेड़ ज़्यादा दिखाई देंगे। Now, fact zones in India, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands have the maximum amount of forest cover, about 87% of its land area. तो Andaman and Nicobar Island में 87% of the land area is covered with forests. Then we have the mountain forests. These forests are found on the Himalayan slopes in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. These forests are a mixed deciduous and coniferous type. The tree species keep changing with altitude. At the foothills, deciduous trees of sal and bamboo are found. Between 1000 and 1600 meter of altitude, trees like oak, chestnut and cher are found. And between 1600 to 3300 meters, coniferous trees such as pine, deodar, cedar, spruce and silver fir grow. Above 3300 meter, only alpine shrubs and meadows can be seen up to the permanent snow line. Then you have the mountain forest, higher altitudes, Himachal Pradesh, Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, ऐसे रीजन्स में आपको देखने को मिलेगा। अलग अलग एल्टीट्यूड पे आपको अलग अलग टाइप के ट्रीज देखने को यहाँ पर मिलते हैं। Then we have the tidal forests. These forests are also called the mangrove forest and are found along the eastern coast in the large deltas formed by the Ganga, Brahmaputra, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri rivers. And Sundari is the most common tree found in the biggest mangrove forest, the Sundarbans, located in the Ganga, Brahmaputra delta. फिर आते हैं आपके tidal forest जो आपके rivers के साथ आसपास होते हैं। For example, गंगा, ब्रह्मपुत्र, इनके आसपास आपको ये forest दिखाई देंगे। They are also known as mangrove forests. Now let's study about the grasslands. The grasslands of the world are broadly classified into two major types: tropical grasslands and temperate grasslands. Grasslands are also known as prairies in the USA. In South America, they are called pampas. Central Eurasian grasslands are called steppes, and while in Africa, they are called the savannas. तो grasslands है यूएसए में प्रेरीज के नाम से बुलाते हैं, साउथ अमेरिका में आपके पैम्पस के नाम से, सेंट्रल यूरेशियन में स्टीप्स के नाम से एंड अफ्रीका में सवानास के नाम से, बट ऑल ऑफ दीज आर ग्रासलैंड्स ओनली. Grasslands are found where there is not enough regular rainfall to support the growth of a forest, but not too little as to form a desert. Tropical grasslands are warm the year around, but usually have a dry and a rainy season. The African savanna is home to some of the world's most recognizable species, including elephants, giraffes, rhinos, zebra, lions, hyenas, and roth dogs. अब यहाँ पे आपके आते हैं tropical grasslands. Throughout the year ये गर्म रहते हैं. African savanna is home to the world's most famous wildlife recognizable species, जिसमें आपके giraffes, rhinos और zebras भी आते हैं. Temperate grasslands, which receive an average between of 10 to 30 inches of rain per year, have short grasses. These areas have two seasons, a growing season and a dormant season. During the dormant season, no grass can grow because it is too cold. अब temperate grasslands आते हैं, 10 से 30 सेंटीमीटर के बीच की रेनफॉल होती है. दो टाइप के सीजन यहाँ पे देखने को मिलते हैं. वन इज द ग्रोइंग सीजन, जब ग्रासेस ग्रो करते हैं. अनदर वन इज द डॉर्मेंट सीजन, बहुत ठंड हो जाती है इस टाइम पे, तो इस टाइम पे कोई ग्रास नहीं ग्रो करते. The animals that live in temperate grasslands have adapted to the dry, windy conditions. These include grazing animals like gazelles and deer, burrowing animals such as mice and jackrabbits, and predators such as snakes and coyotes. The North American grasslands were once home to millions of bisons. अब अलग अलग animals आपको temperate zones में भी देखने को मिलते हैं, and North American grasslands was once upon a time home to millions of bisons, but now the number has reduced. No other habitat is agriculturally useful to humans as grasslands. Most of the North American grasslands have been converted into one of the richest agriculture regions on the earth. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे habitats आपको आसपास देखने को मिल जाएंगे. Fact zone: grasslands in the southern hemisphere tend to get more precipitation than those in the northern hemisphere. तो southern hemisphere में जो grasslands होते हैं वहाँ पे ज़्यादा बारिश होती है as compared to the northern hemisphere. Another fact zone: the main types of grasslands in India are savannas, steppes and shola grasslands. Savanna grasslands cover about 17% of India's land mass. तो इंडिया में आपको मेन टाइप के जो grasslands देखने को मिलते हैं via savannas, steppes and shola grasslands. Now the conservation of natural vegetation. Why is it important for humans to conserve forests? For their own survival of human beings, a holistic approach must be adopted, such as regards protection of the plant kingdom as well as wildlife, with regard to the peaceful and beneficial coexistence of all. To prevent any kind of ecological imbalance, a very pragmatic action plan has to be formulated. तो हमारे अपने कंजम्पशन के लिए ही हमें आसपास के वाइल्ड लाइफ को और नेचुरल वेजिटेशन को कंजर्व करना पड़ेगा. Now let's see the methods of conservation. Afforestation, conservation of forest resources, commercial forestry, social forestry and environmental forestry, agroforestry, plantation of trees of aesthetic value. तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पेड़ लगाइए, पेस्टिसाइड्स को कम यूज़ करिए, फॉरेस्ट रिसोर्सेज को बढ़ाइए एंड कमर्शियल फॉरेस्ट्री को भी प्रमोट करिए. Now let's see the distribution of wildlife. Wildlife includes plants, animals and other organisms. The domesticating of wild plants and animal species for human benefit has occurred many times all over the planet and has a major impact on the environment, both positive and negative. Wildlife can be found in all ecosystems including deserts, rainforests, plains and other areas. All have distinct form of wildlife. Many wildlife species have special significance in different cultures around the world. For example, eagles, hawks and their feathers hold great cultural and spiritual value as the religious objects and symbols. तो अलग-अलग जगहों पर आपको अलग-अलग टाइप का वाइल्ड लाइफ देखने को मिलेगा. कुछ आपको लोकलाइज्ड वाइल्ड लाइफ मिलेगी जो सिर्फ उन्हीं रीजन्स में होती है एंड अलग-अलग रिलीजियस एस्पेक्ट्स भी इनके देखे जाते हैं. The forest, grasslands and desert provide natural habitats for animals. These habitats provide shelter, space for the movement, food and water. They're also places where animals develop their own ways of life and raise their young ones. Let us look at the distribution of wildlife in various continents. तो अलग-अलग continents में है. Let's see किस तरीके से कौन से continent में किस तरीके का wildlife हमें देखने को मिलता है. Asia is quite rich in terms of wildlife. The equatorial forests are home to tree-dwelling animals such as monkeys, sloths, tree frogs, tree lizards and tree iguanas. The swamps are abundant in crocodiles and snakes. A variety of birds and insects are also found. Elephants, tigers, leopards, monkeys, deer, rhinoceros and various kinds of snakes are found in the monsoon forest. अब एशिया इक्वेटोरियल रीजन में पड़ता है. बहुत सारी ट्री ड्वेलिंग एनिमल्स जैसे मंकी, स्लॉथ, बेयर्स बहुत सारे देखने को मिलते हैं. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट rhinoceros and various types of snakes are also found in Asia. Desert animals include camels, desert rats, desert foxes, lizards, scorpions, gazelles, mules, donkeys and various kinds of insects. Yaks are found in the cold Tibetan plateau. In the steppes, antelopes, mules, donkeys, horses and wolves are found in the wild. Deserts में आपको gazelles, rats, mules, बहुत ही mountainous snow-fed regions में yaks ये सब आपको देखने को मिलता है. Fur-bearing animals such as grizzly bears, Arctic foxes, lynx, sable and mink are found in the taiga forests. The most common animal in the tundra is the reindeer. Polar bears, foxes, musk, oxen and sable are also found here. Seals and walruses abound in the seas adjoining the coast. इसके अलावा fur वाले जो animals होते हैं यहाँ पे grizzly bears हो गए, polar bears हो गए, all these also we see here. The wildlife of North America is diverse and includes animals such as bison, brown bears, bald eagles, hummingbirds, bullfrogs, snapping turtles, rattlesnakes, cougars and American alligators. Other animals include the American beaver, American moose, Arctic wolf, black-footed ferret, caribou, monarch butterfly, tufted titmouse, nine-banded armadillo and blue foxes. And North America maybe you have different kinds of birds, for example armadillo, nine-banded armadillo, then you have the titmouses. And then Africa is rich in wildlife. Elephants, hippopotamuses, rhinoceros, pythons, crocodiles and many types of monkeys live in equatorial forests and swamps. Gorillas and apes are big monkeys, while baboons and chimpanzees are small ones, and elephants live in grassy woodlands. Grass-eating animals like the deer, giraffes and zebras, elephants, buffaloes, stags, etc. are found in savanna grasslands. अब Africa is also rich in these kinds of wildlife. आपको rhinoceros, hippopotamuses सब यहाँ देखने को मिलता है. Then flesh-eating animals like lions, tigers and leopards are also found in large numbers. Camels and ostriches are found in deserts. Leopards are mainly found over the whole of Africa. They are well known for their dark spots. Their diet consists of antelope, wild pigs, monkeys, birds and domestic livestock. They favor dogs as a meal. अब leopards आपके ज़्यादातर पूरे के पूरे अफ्रीका में देखे जाते हैं and domestic livestock भी यहाँ पे मिलते हैं. Deer, giraffes, zebras and stags are found in the savanna grasslands. South America has thousands of species including scarlet ibis, Andean condor, harpy eagle, giant panda, macaw, toucan and jaguar, antbird and the llamas. The turtles, marine iguanas, penguins and other exotic species are also found in this continent. One of the attractions of the Amazon is the river dolphins known as the pink dolphins. Spectacled bears are the only ones found in the South America. Anteaters and armadillos are other ancient mammals of South America. अब Amazon river का सबसे बड़ा attraction site है वहाँ की dolphin, which is also known as the pink dolphin. South America में ही आपको spectacles bear मिले, spectacled bears देखने को मिलते हैं. And Australia has many species of wildlife. There are 450 species of mammals and 110,000 species of insects. And then you have the marsupials, include kangaroos, wallabies, koalas, Sumerian wolves, devils and many others. The platypus and the echidna are egg-laying animals and they are different species of birds including the cockatoo, a lyrebird, flightless emu, कोकाबुरा एंड सेवरल टाइप्स ऑफ पैरेट्स. मार्सुपियल्स जो होते हैं जहाँ पे उनके मार्सुपियल्स उनको बोलते हैं जिनके बेबीज बहुत वीक पैदा होते हैं, पाउच में उनका वो पूरा डेवलपमेंट करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कैंगरूज. Europe has limited wildlife as most of the forests have been cut down to provide land for farming. Wild animals such as musk oxen, bison and camois can now be seen only in zoos or protected sanctuaries. Polar bears, wolves, wild boars, wild sheep and saigas, native antelope still live freely in mountains and steppes. तो यूरोप में भी आपको बहुत ही लिमिटेड वाइल्ड लाइफ मिलेगी, बट देन वहाँ पे भी आपको काफ़ी सारी वाइल्ड लाइफ देखने को मिल जाती है. Then you have rabbits, hares, deer and foxes are still hunted in Europe, but the fur-bearing animals like mink, ermine and sable are now raised on fur farms, and the well-known birds include partridges, ducks, larks, cuckoos, skylarks, nightingales, etc. Now, the conservation of wildlife, man's never-ending greed for skins, fur, ivory, horns and other animal products has led to reckless hunting of animals in many parts of the world. Many species have become endangered and some have already become extinct. Large-scale deforestation has robbed wildlife of their natural habitat, leading to a decline in their numbers. Therefore, the need of the hour is to conserve our wildlife resources. The indiscriminate hunting of animals has to be checked and laws have to be made against it. Many countries have already made such laws, but they must be strictly implemented. Many national parks, protected forests, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves have been set up all over the world to preserve our wildlife in the natural habitat. तो इन सबको protect करना, conserve करना हमारी responsibility है. Government ने भी बहुत सारे initiatives लिए हैं to conserve the wildlife around us. Now, turn back lumber, the wood of trees processed for use as building material, depletion or reduction in something, dormant, being in an inactive state, pragmatic, dealing with problems in a practical way. Flashback, land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife are important natural resources. We can conserve land resources by planting more trees and providing irrigation facilities. Specific factors are involved in soil formation, parent, material, climate, then organisms, topography and time. Water conservation can help to reduce the scarcity of water. Grasslands are found where there is not enough regular rainfall to support the growth of a forest. Conservation of forests can be done through afforestation, social forestry, agroforestry and the plantation of trees with aesthetic value. Wildlife includes all non-domesticated plants, animals and other organisms. The conservation of wildlife is to maintain ecological balance of nature, food chain and natural cycle. So in this chapter we have read about land resources, soil resources, water resource, wildlife and how to conserve all of these. Now, evaluation time. Fill the given OMR sheet to choose the correct option. Parent rock refers to the original rock from which the soil was formed. B. Fill in the blanks. Every country develops its running resources of land use. Number C, very short answer type questions. Mention the total land area of India. It is approximately 3.18 million square kilometer hectare. Short answer type questions. What do you mean by parent rock? Parent rock is the main rock जिससे आपका बाद में इरोड होते होते वो वेदरिंग प्रोसेसेस की वजह से सॉइल इरोड होते होते रॉक इरोड होते होते आपका सॉइल का फॉर्मेशन हो जाता है. लॉन्ग आंसर टाइप क्वेश्चन. स्टेट सम वेज टू कंजर्व लैंड रिसोर्सेज. लैंड रिसोर्सेज को कंजर्व करने के कुछ प्राइम रीजंस, कुछ प्राइम आपके तरीके हो सकते हैं. सबसे पहला है, आप जब एग्रीकल्चर के लिए यूज करते हो, ज़्यादा पेस्टिसाइड्स उस पर नहीं ग्रो करना है, टेरेस फार्मिंग को प्रमोट करना है, सॉइल इरोड नहीं होने देना है. देन आपका चेंजिंग ऑफ योर रॉक टाइप हो जाएगा. ऑल दीज फैक्टर्स कैन कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट टू द कंजर्वेशन ऑफ लैंड रिसोर्सेज. Then you have the skills enhancing corner. This is a project work. Make a chart to show the different types of soil found in India and their uses. Chart बनाइए, इंडिया में कितने तरीके के soils मिलते हैं, उनका use कहाँ कहाँ पे होता है. Just find it out, write it down, make this project work. And then you have the NCERT corner, certain questions. The answers are also given of these questions with the explanations. Please go through it. Read the entire chapter once again properly, and the rest of the exercise questions, please do it yourselves.